there's a whistleblower, former Department of Agriculture scientist Gerald Zernstein, who is claiming that 70% of the ground beef here in the United States is actually made up of the pink slime that we've been talking about on the show. For those of you who are unaware of what that is, it's basically connective tissue from the cow, and they grind it up and basically treat it with ammonium hydroxide to get rid of the bacteria and E. coli in the meat. Now, calling it meat, I mean, that is such a loose term because it's not really meat. In fact, it's not supposed to be consumed by humans. This connective tissue is actually used for dog food. But what's interesting is now that this story has kind of snowballed and turned into a really big thing, you know, this former Department of Agriculture scientist is saying, you guys should be aware because the ground beef you're eating is pretty much the same thing that McDonald's and Taco Bell are rejecting because it's so disgusting.
Well, let's go back and discuss how it came to be that this so-called meat was considered meat, because as Anna mentioned, it used to be that it was considered dog food and unfit for human consumption. However, this is traced back to this woman named Joanne Smith. She was a Undersecretary of Agriculture back in the early 90s and late 80s. And she's the one who said, you know what, this is meat.
Yeah, we're going to define this as meat, even though it normally wouldn't be considered.
And that pretty much gave the green light for the beef industry to start calling it meat and selling it and packaging it as meat to everyone else. But I want to go back and explain to you guys who Joanne Smith is. Joanne Smith was born to a farming and ranching family, so she was around it her whole life. In '85, she became the president of the National Cattlemen's Association, and she appeared before Congress many times to advocate for the rights of beef producers. She even traveled to Asia to open up their markets to our beef. And she's famous because she founded the Cattlemen's Beef Promotion and Research Board, and they're the ones who did all kinds of commercials and advertisements and campaigns to up beef consumption in America, all those commercials you see on television. And they pitched beef as being nutritional, and demand for beef really skyrocketed. So what she does is she labels this pink slime meat, and then she leaves, and guess who hires her? Beef Products Incorporated to be on their board of directors.
Exactly.
So she serves on the board of directors, and she makes over $1.2 million. Surprise, surprise.
That's the exact same thing you see in all parts of government. You will see Congress people helping lobbyists because they know that as soon as their term is up, or if they don't get reelected, it's very convenient to go work as a DC lobbyist, right? So it's very similar to what you're seeing here.
It's so frustrating and it's so disappointing. And sometimes you just want to throw up your hands and say, well, what can we do?
And think about the impact it has, right? Because of this woman defining this dog food as meat, 70% of the ground beef we eat in this country right now could be pink slime, okay? That sounds like a very, almost outlandish claim, right? But here's one thing that I do know. School lunches in the United States, all of the meat that your kids are eating, that's definitely pink slime because the government just purchased millions of dollars worth of this pink slime to put into school lunches. So because of this woman who is looking out for her own self-interest, we're eating dog food.
Yeah, look, we ask industry lobbyists to become the regulators, and then they regulate by giving them favorable laws and regulations, and then they leave to make even more money from those industries. I mean, come on. Come on. Also, in case you guys don't know, the reason why this pink slime is so disgusting is not just that it's from little bits and pieces from the cow, because you eat that in a hot dog and a sausage anyway. It's that they wash it with ammonia to kill the teeming bacteria that's on there, and then they inject it with tons of artificial colors and flavors to make it taste like meat. So basically, it's like this gunk just used as to give it some mass, and it's filled up with ammonia and disgusting chemicals. And that is what we're feeding our children in our schools.
Yeah, it's disgusting.